alive. Oh, it's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive.
Hello, I'm Simon.
And I'm Dan.
And this is the Wikicast, a podcast where Wikipedia takes us to a random article and we talk about what we find. Dan, what are we talking about this week?
This week, Simon, we're talking about Come Tomorrow album.
Okay.
Yeah, this wasn't a demand.
that was unexpected, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. No,
Wow.
We've got an album here, which is continuing in the vein of, we've had maybe two, I think, previous podcast episodes where we've been featuring an album. Specifically the emo band.
We had Dads.
Yeah,
we had I'll Be the Tornado.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, anyway, we've got Come Tomorrow now. So it's the 9th studio album by the Dave Matthews Band and was released on June 8th, 2018.
I've heard of Dave Matthews. Why have I heard of Dave Matthews?
Yeah, I thought I recognised his name. He's an American it's a rock band formed in Charlottesville, Virginia in 1991. The band's founding members were singer-songwriter and guitarist. Guess his name?
Dave Matthews?
Yeah, spot on.
Still
Bassist Stefan Lessard, or Lessard. I don't know whether he's French.
Stefan or Stefan?
Stefan, probably. Stefan Lessard. It's actually Stefan Lessard, but thanks very much.
And Nirvana with founding member Dave Grohl.
Yeah, and drummer and backing vocalist
Kurt Cobain.
Carter Beauford. Violinist and backing vocalist Boyd Tinsley. Yeah, quite a well-known band, basically. Cut to the chase.
Yeah, I was just looking at their songs. Their songs that they have on Google, you know, like when you type a band name, they've got Ants Marching, Crash Into Me. I don't recognise any of these song names. Maybe I'd recognise it if I heard it. I don't know. Anyway, we should address the pandemic in the room, Dan, which is that we missed an episode. We did not, in fact, release an episode 2 weeks ago, and there was a very good reason for that, dear reader.
Yes, the missing of the episode was not due to our own complacency and lack of kind of attention to our schedule. However,
if anything
Simon,
dropped the ball, it was my immune system.
Yes, you've been a bit poorly, haven't you?
Yeah, I got the Rona. I got COVID-19. Well, at least that's the working hypothesis. As I did a whole video, which at the day of recording, I released yesterday.
In fact, I watched it last night.
Oh, bless you!
And it was very good. And I thought, it was probably the most doing his thing.
It was the most wholesome video I've released in a while, I think. It's just quite funny that so for those of you who haven't seen the video, first of all, you're dead to me. Secondly, it basically is talking about how my relationship with Pixel Girl changed as the lockdown, you know, as we self-isolated because I was sick and she wasn't. We wanted to protect her. And my take on it was, I grew a lot as a man, and I think our relationship leveled up, and I feel like we've come out of this stronger. And Pixel Girl's response is, I didn't get to see a dumb face for 2 weeks. It was great. Yeah,
I remember that bit. She hasn't changed.
She hasn't changed. No, you can feel the love tonight.
Well, that's good. You need in this time of turbulence, what we need in our lives is constant. And oh golly, I said her name. Can you bleep that?
Yeah, we could bleep that.
Pixel Girl is your constant, which is nice.
Well, the thing is, you say that today is she has designated today as No Neg Day, which she's going to try and not consistently on me as she normally does. She has a very, you know her, she has quite a negative sense of humor when it comes to me. I'm just like constantly slapping me down, and I'm like, I feel like we shouldn't need to designate No Neg Day in what is meant to be a loving relationship.
I think that's fantastic. I think No Neg Day is a superb idea, and given that you'll be missing out on a lot of negative flack today, I will do my very best to keep that at a just you know it's like measuring an action potential on it. We don't want that. We don't want to see that spike. What we want to do, Simon, much like the virus, is flatten the sodding curve.
Yes, and I can attest. This is your public safety announcement from your dearest friends at the Wikicast. You don't want to get this virus. I mean, the thing is, it's because it's a viral infection, not a bacterial infection. That means that there's a huge range of symptoms that people get and a wide range of severity of how people respond to it. Some people get it, most people seem to get it, and it's mild. it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But some people get it, and it's obviously fatal. A really good friend of mine had to lost their dad actually quite early on in the pandemic, and. So, it is a horrible disease, and if you get it bad, I mean, because I'm a young guy in good health, I'm a runner.
You're full of pep, vim, and spunk. It's all
all of
marvelous.
all the fluids. I am like
you're brimming.
I'm like
You're almost brimming over with spunk. I mean, you're fine. You're all right.
A dumpster,
And yet,
if you will.
And yet.
It's like, those cereal bars like at hotels where you can like twist different knobs and you get different cereals out. That's like me, but with different fluids. I'm just like a breakfast buffet of fluids. God, this is disgusting.
Just the most beautiful image I've had in a very long time.
What I was saying before we started talking about spunk was that I've got good lungs. Like, I'm a singer, I'm a runner, I'm in good health, and this thing really made me out. Like, this is serious shit, guys. You don't want to get this, and so it is if I could borrow a phrase used by the idiots in charge at the moment, it's your civic duty, your civic responsibility to try and flatten the curve and do your bit and not kill the old people in this country.
Unless you're going to visit your mother in Durham.
Unless you're going to visit the following people: Dominic Cummings, Boris Johnson, pretty much anyone in the Tory cabinet, as a matter of fact. Oh, God. It's just... At least we're not American,
Yeah, I saw the article... Was it this morning the BBC featured one saying that they've now surpassed, may well have been yesterday, 100,000 deaths.
And also that oh God, I just can't, Dan. I cannot wait for December so he can get re-elected and we can relive the whole nightmare.
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it? Because he's, for a president who's made quite a big deal of him wanting to kind of flex his POTUS power. His response when people start saying you're really doing not a super job at this, Donald, is to kind of basically just kind of shut himself in his room and say, well, yeah, the state governors should kind of be sorting all of this out, so I'm going to let them. It's the government's job at the moment to just step back and let state governors control.
Let nature take its course.
Yeah, you're just kind of like, hang on, no, you're not kidding anyone.
And crying free speech when Twitter says, "Oh, by the way, this statement of his complete bollocks, mate." And oh God. Anyway, this is not the Dan and Simon rant about American politics podcast, because we're going to rant about British politics instead.
Because we're recording that tomorrow.
Yes, it's a busy schedule. Yeah, we were talking actually just before we started the podcast about, so you're furloughed, so you've been. You said you had a project, which we'll get onto in a bit, but would it be fair to say that you've spent a fair amount of time on World of Warcraft recently?
Yes, Simon, I think that would be a fair statement. Yeah. I've interestingly, I've moved over from what we in the biz refer to as retail, which is the current, up-to-date version of the game, in... God, which is it now? Battle for Azeroth, I think, is the current expansion. Anyway, I've stopped playing that because I was falling slightly out of love with it, and I want to, because toward the end of this year, I think September or maybe October, Shadowlands is coming out, which is the new expansion. So I want to kind of return to that with real excitement. So what I've been playing at the moment is Classic, because I stopped playing that for a while. And it's just nice. I mean, it's a massive grind, and you find yourself, you've sat there for like 2 hours, and you've like moved up a level and a half if you're lucky. And it's just so much, like, it makes you think that the interesting thing, I was talking to my brother about this because he's also been playing this game.
You've also infected Rez from the the actually.
Yes.
My beloved Mod Marson, my sweet summer child.
He messaged me the other day and said, are you going to be playing WoW this evening, or are you coming on for Blackwake? And I replied back saying, like, I'm gonna let you answer that question. And he was like, you're staying on, aren't you? I was like, yes, of course, that's what I'm doing.
Because we have been playing a bit of Blackwake as well, we should point out. Like, I've been streaming Blackwake every Tuesday. I don't think we're going to do it next Tuesday. We're going to do something different. But I don't know if you've heard about this. We're actually hoping to do a big community game with people from the Oxcast and with people from ZF Clan.
Fantastic. And come along for that.
It's Blackwake is just great. It's very fun. There's not a huge amount to the game, it's got to be said. But it's very enjoyable getting blasted to pieces by Sphinx from the community for the millionth time in a row.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Well, one of the things that I noticed that I was discussing with my brother is that in vanilla WoW, many features that we know and love in retail didn't exist, and we talk about these kind of quality of life things. But one feature that I realized, hang on, this isn't here anymore, is the in-game calendar. So you can open a calendar and it might tell you when certain seasonal holidays or the World of Warcraft equivalent of those are being celebrated in the game. So they have something called Noble Garden, which is basically like Easter. They have Feast of Wintervale or something, which is Christmas, stuff like that. Anyway, right. There is no calendar in the game at all, and I was thinking about this, and I think it must have been a really deliberate choice, because you've got to grind this game so much that it would just be a kick in the teeth to really recognize how much time you've synced into this game. So without a calendar, you don't really know, because your own time just becomes, especially in lockdown, everything just becomes a loop. Weekends don't exist for me anymore.
It's been Sunday for the past 2 months.
Exactly. It's mad. I mean, they say, that'll be as likely as happening in a whole month of Sundays. We are living in that time. Yeah. It's mad. It's just this is the alarming thing. Anyway, I've been loving that, and it's been great. And I've been doing loads of gardening. Oh my God, I've been doing loads of gardening.
And also taking 3D pictures. On your Facebook, I've noticed that you've got into this habit of taking 3D pictures.
I've desperately wanted my time to defend myself here, because you would not believe the number of people who I've heard messaging friends of mine, they've screenshotted it and sent it to me with comments like, oh my, golly, when's Dan going to finally upload a non-3D picture? I uploaded 2 pictures in the last month, both of which happened to be 3D, and now I'm branded as the king of all 3 dimensions. It's ridiculous.
All dimensions. Everything the light touches.
Yeah, I uploaded one of that Dies Natalis Finzi score and one of the lovely loaf of bread I made, and apparently now I'm a massive sellout. Just to understand it.
That last sentence of yours was just the most Dan Moore thing I think I've ever heard. I was I did take that 3D picture of that Finzi score and that loaf of bread that I made, but apparently I'm a sellout.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a victim, and I will be writing to Radio 4 to vent my woes.
Oh my God. Right. Sorry, we've been completely distracted. We're meant to be talking about the Dave Matthews Band or something.
Oh, yeah. What even is that? Come Tomorrow.
Yes. So tell me about that.
Would you like to... Shall I briefly rattle through the track listing?
Oh, go on. There's some fun names here.
The first track is called Samurai Cop, and then in parentheses, Oh Joy Begin. What follows then is other songs: Can't Stop, Here on Out, That Girl Is You, She, Idea of You, Virginia in the Rain, Again and Again, and then track 9 is just the letters BKD, KD, KDD in quotations. Black and Bluebird. Oh dear, that's a bit close to the bone. Come On, Come On. Do You Remember? Come Tomorrow, the title track, and When I'm Weary.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's done pretty well. The commercial performance, it debuted at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 with 292,000 album equivalent units, making it the biggest sales week of a rock album in over 4 years, and the biggest sales week for an album in 2018. Metacritic gives it a 71 out of 100, and it receives 4 out of 5 stars pretty much across the board, with the exception of Pitchfork that gave it 5 out of 10.
Oh, harsh.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the wiki for Dave Matthews himself.
Okay.
Was this album Come Tomorrow, did you say?
Yeah, it's got a black and white, weird kind of 2D album art.
Oh, I'm looking at a picture of it now. Oh, that's fun. It's a bit like the Little Lion Man kind of music video, if you know what I mean.
It looks like that game. What's that game that looks like that?
Oh,
you know which one I mean, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Anyway, it looks like that.
Yeah.
Great stuff for podcasting.
It was... you know that thing? That it looks like that thing, and I'm like, oh, thing! Oh, yeah, I can't remember the name of the thing, so it only means something to us. Come Tomorrow was their 7th consecutive number 1 album, which is a record? I think. Yeah, the only group...
Well, it's a whole album, Simon.
Dan, I will come in there. Don't make me cough on you.
You will come in there tomorrow.
The only group to have 7 consecutive albums debut at number 1 on the Billboard charts. So actually, that's kind of incredible. Like, as records go. And also, from 2000 to 2010, the Dave Matthews Band sold more tickets and earned more money than any other act in North America.
Wow.
So these guys are huge. But I know the name, but I couldn't tell you anything. Like, I genuinely, this is like a wrinkle in my brain. I can't explain why I know these guys, but can't name any of their songs.
So if you go to the Dave Matthews Band Wikipedia article, not only is it extensive, you can also go down to section 7, awards and nominations, where it links you to another article entirely dedicated to the awards and nominations.
Oh my God, the flex.
Yeah,
the flex is unreal.
I mean, it's a bit sad because most of the awards it talks about are nominations rather than winning things.
Yeah.
However, they won in 2000 and 2001. They won all of the VH1 Music Awards.
The most prestigious of the VH Music Awards.
Oh, for sure. They were nominated for an awful lot of MTV Video Musical Awards from 1997, the year I was born, to 2002, the year that I wasn't born. And I think it's...
That's most years. I mean, that's not terribly specific.
Hey, I don't make the rules, okay? This is just how it is. They won it. I think it said here they won a Grammy.
I think they did win a single Grammy,
which is good for them, isn't it? I mean,
I'm just going on their Spotify a second. I want to see if this is bugging me out. How do I not recognize any of these? I wonder if they were used in Scrubs or something like that, and so maybe I know the name from that.
In fairness, any of those kind of shows, so like Scrubs, Malcolm in the Middle, I wouldn't be surprised if they used their music, you know. Oh, actually, can we go to... If we go to...
We're going to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah. I'm wondering if there's like a thing in popular culture, whether it was moved, you know. But I can't see that as a...
TV? No. 2 days later, saxophonist Leroy Moore was injured in an ATV accident. Wow. Every single reference to TV here is ATVs. Okay, so maybe not. Film? Nope. Oh God, we're going to get an angry email about this because we're probably just being idiots.
Well, I think this is one of those classic moments where we're going to have to rely on the dear readership. If you feel passionately about the Dave Matthews Band, even in particular if you feel passionate about Come Tomorrow, the album, then please do write in to spongyelectric@gmail.com and help us understand why we might know who the Dave Matthews Band is.
Deliver us. Please deliver us from our own stupidity. Hang on, I'm going to sneeze. Now we're good.
Okay.
Next, in thrilling content.
Yeah, it's on the edge of my seat there. Goodness.
So was Matt sneeze. Now, do you have anything? Obviously, you haven't been singing, but do you have... are we finished with this album? We've learned Dave Matthews Band, great band. We don't know anything about them.
Yeah, I think...
And I nearly died. You've been playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
That's the summary of the podcast so far.
Yeah, it would also be the summary for like the last 3 years.
Wait, basically. I didn't nearly die at all points in the last 3 years.
No, but you were doing a PhD. That's pretty close.
It felt like dying in slow motion. This is true.
Yeah.
Okay, so you haven't been singing, but do you have a choral piece of the week?
I do. I really do. And this will be my piece of the week. Drum roll, please.
Go on then, hit me with it. You sounded enthusiastic about this one.
I am enthusiastic about it because... Do you recall, several episodes ago, I was talking about me doing a bit of hunting on my family tree?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I came across Wing Commander Roger Moore.
Yes.
And then I've been doing a lot of listening to Nicholas Moore.
Right.
Who is a really famous composer.
Why do I sense there's more to come?
Yeah, it's almost like I've got a story to tell. Nicholas Moore... Now, he's not going to be it's not going to be one of his pieces that's going to be my piece of the week. I'll save that. However, fascinatingly, in his Wikipedia article, in his biography, it says here, from 1998 until 2008, Moore served on the faculty of the Peabody Institute at Johns Hopkins University, where he taught music composition. He had previously served on the faculties of Yale, Bard, Boston University, the Royal Academy of Music, Cambridge University, and Exeter University.
Huh.
How weird is that? Anyway, so I was listening to some of his stuff, and there's a really fantastic anthem that he's written called 1 Foot in Eden, Still I Stand, which is great. However, it's not my piece for the week, because on the album that I've got, which is a fantastic one called British Composers, A Celebration, a few underneath on the track listing of one of Nicholas Moore's pieces, you come across... Hang on, let me just scroll down to find it. Arnold Bax.
How do you spell that?
Arnold as in Arnold, and Bax as in Bax.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. And I haven't come across this chap at all.
No, he looks very serious.
Yeah, he's written a piece called Mater Ora Filium. It's interesting because if you look up this piece... you can find tracks that are maybe 3 minutes long and tracks that are 12 minutes long. So as I understand it, basically, they've broken it up into kind of like movements that I don't think are actual movements.
Oh, it's a bit like where they break up Ascribe unto the Lord, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I listened to this particular track one, which is the first 3 minutes, and thought, golly, that's cool. Really like that. And then I listened to the full thing, and it's just absolutely mental. It's a bit like Samuel Barber's music. So it go like, it's just, I don't know. I think it's just fantastic. Anyway, Arnold Bax, Mater Ora Filium, really cool. And there's this moment towards, I think it's either bang on in the middle or just afterwards, where he starts suddenly writing these massive soaring top Cs for sopranos, and that everyone's just starting to take off, and the piece just gets bigger and bigger. But there's also moments where he kind of borrows from, you know how Ralph Vaughan Williams likes folk tunes.
Yes, yeah, famously.
So you might be listening to some of the pieces that he's kind of set, and there'll be quite a lot of kind of ornamentation at the beginning and ends of phrases to kind of give that idea of kind of like a folk melody. Bax kind of does that as well. And I think, for me, of all the stuff I've heard, which isn't nearly enough yet, but I'm getting there, I think Bax is most similar or comparable to someone like Barber. But it's a really, really cool piece of music. And I urge you to listen to the first 3 minutes and go, oh yeah, that's great. And then just sit down and consume the entire piece, because it just is really mental. And
so
really
according to Wikipedia, his most famous piece is Tintagel, a tone poem about the castle, the Arthurian castle in Cornwall. This article is a short article, but uses the word climax 3 times.
Wow.
The subject is worked to a broad diatonic climax. One is very jealous. And there follows what Bax called a great climax, suddenly subsiding, followed by a genuine sense of ennui. No, that's just other climaxes. What is the plural of climax? Climaxes?
I guess, yeah.
Hang on. Plural of climax. Well, I've never heard of this guy. Yeah, climaxes. Okay. I've never heard of this guy before. I'm going to have to check him out, because it sounds interesting. I like Vaughan Williams' stuff that's been inspired by folk music, and that's like a name that I have never heard of before.
Nor had I. It's just really crazy. And the thing that I think is most similar to Barber in the way that he writes is that the harmony he chooses, and the kind of if you're thinking of it like of an inversion of a chord, how he to which kind of vocal line he gives certain notes to create that kind of inversion. He does it in such a way that every single time you kind of hear the chord and you go, oh yeah, that kind of, I feel kind of safe in what you've done here in terms of the kind of the harmony that's kind of banging around me. But the way that he gives it across the voices means that everything has just got like a slight tinge of kind of uncomfort and unsettled, like, ooh, I'm not sure but it's not like listening to some really kind of crunchy, discordant mess. There are moments where it's just really, it's just a nice kind of beautiful, could just be like a very simple kind of major or minor chord, but the way that he kind of spreads it out across the voice parts means that it kind of, you're listening to it and you still think in the back of your mind, oh, that's just something that's not right about it. And I think it's really cool. It's really cool.
Well,
yes.
What a turn up for the book. He's waited 4 weeks to be able to bring this to you, ladies and gentlemen. But I think that was worth it. Wow. I've got that queued up on my Spotify. I will listen to that later. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. So we find ourselves in Critics Corner, and I've had a lot of time on my hands recently, Dan, as you may have known. And so I've played a lot of games, although admittedly, I think the thing that I did most when I was actually sick was listening to podcasts, because that was the only thing I was capable of doing. I got tired out listening to podcasts at one point. So I listened to a lot of the Scrubs podcast and a bit of the Community Rewatch with Joel McHale and Ken Jeong. And that's fine. I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, which is delightful. And I've started Pokemon Shield, which is fun. A bit weird. The new Pokemons are, as in like the games, are just a bit weird in my opinion.
Right.
But I like it. And also it's set in not the UK. Like it's very clearly England, but like they don't call it that. Which leads to some hilarious bits that you don't expect in a Pokemon game. Like I got challenged to a battle in a wild area by a postman.
Nice.
And you know how like I assume you play Pokemon when you were a kid.
I think I had one of them. I think it might have been Emerald on the Game Boy Advance SP.
Oh my god, get you.
Yeah, I know. Pretty full on.
So I played what Yellow and Crystal. So I played Gen 1 and 2. So my knowledge is a little bit out of date. But anyway, and they say something when they challenge you to a battle, and this postman saw me, got the little exclamation mark, and he was like, "I carry letters and victory." and then started this battle.
Is that not the slogan of Royal Mail? I think it is. Emblazoned on the side of the vans, "We carry letters and victory."
When you challenge a Royal Mail carrier in the street, they're like, "You dare to approach me?" Twists the like postman cap backwards.
Yeah.
Gets the Pokeballs out. Just throws parcels at you. So that's been fun. And
I stamp letters, and now I'll stamp you. And he slams this foot down.
Oh, we should write the next Pokemon game. Holy shit, we're better at this than the actual writers. Because I carry letters and victory. It doesn't even make sense. You don't carry victory.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've been playing that. I've been playing some Mechanicus, a lot of Rocket League, which for those of you who aren't aware, I stream on Twitch, and we have the Pyongyang Pigeons, Pyongyang FC. If you want to join the Pyongyang Gang or the Pyong Gang in our supporters group, then yeah, you can do so. Just keep an eye on my Twitter for when I'm going to be live. And the main thing that I wanted to talk about, though, so that's like all the incidental stuff I've been doing. The main thing I've been doing is Pixel Girl has made me watch some really depressing shit recently, Dan. Really good, but really depressing. We had twice now had an evening where we've gone, you know what, I fancy a movie night. Let's do a couples movie night. We're going to watch a film together. And I was like, I feel like, should we watch The Breakfast Club? Always wanted to watch The Breakfast Club. I know it's an 80s feel-good classic. Have you seen it?
I don't think so, actually. It's been one of those films that's been on my list of I really need to get around to watching it because it is like a cult classic.
Same. Like I know that it's good and I know I should watch it, but I've never got around to it. But she was like, no, I don't really feel like that. Oh, I know. Should we watch Marriage Story? Which was a film that I've been saying for ages that we should watch, but I'm like, I don't think I'm in the right mood to watch at a given time because I know this is going to be really depressing. And I know I should watch it because it's a very good film, allegedly, and it's got great acting in it and everything like that. And on both of those points, I was absolutely right. We watched it, and the two, particularly the two lead performances by Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, are amazing. Like the acting is so good, and it shows how pigeonholed they've been by Star Wars and Marvel work. It shows what they can do. But holy shit, it's just really, it breaks you down, that film. Really depressing.
It really does. The scene where it's just that those two in his apartment and they have the argument. I remember watching that and just being, wow.
Yeah. And he's like, I wish you would die. I wish I woke up every day and wished you were dead.
Yeah. If I could guarantee that Henry was okay and you got sick and you were hit by a bus and you died, and then he just completely breaks down, and it's just like, wow, it's so visceral.
Yeah, like stunningly good. And on that same vein, last week we did the same thing where she was like, should we do a movie night? And I was like, well, should we watch Breakfast Club? And she was like, nah. You know what? There's this performance of A Streetcar Named Desire with Gillian Anderson with the National Theatre. And I'd never seen the film. I'd never studied the play before, so I didn't know the story. And oh my God, it was 3 hours of exceptional acting and utter depression by the end of it.
It's an intense. I remember doing that at school, and we watched the film with
Marlon Brando.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
the famous because that was
Stella.
The my only knowledge of it comes from The Simpsons, which is the case for so many things in life. But they do A Streetcar Named Marge, where it's Marge is, oh God, what's not Stella, the lead female.
Blanche,
that's it. Marge is Blanche, and then Flanders is Stanley.
Yeah.
And she sees the parallels between Stanley and Homer, and it's a really classic episode. But I wasn't expecting how brutal the story was, and also for a play that was written in 1948, incredibly modern. But yeah, if you get a chance, watch the National Theatre's production with Gillian Anderson from X-Files and Sex Education as Blanche, and she's amazing. I mean, the production as a whole is great. Really interesting, like, set design in this constantly rotating stage, because it's at the old Vic, so it's like the audience all around. But yeah, she's really gone 2 for 2 on. I've really enjoyed on a critical level what we've watched, and it's just destroyed my soul 2 nights. So next movie night we're watching the fucking Breakfast Club, because I want 2 hours of just feel good entertainment.
Tell you what, speaking of the National Theatre, I don't know whether you saw their Frankenstein with Benedict Cumberbatch and Johnny Lee Miller.
No,
that is really worth watching. It's superb, and the everything about it. The performances, I think, are stellar, but also Stella. But also the set is incredible. It's really, yeah. So, and the interesting thing is, so on and off, the Benedict Cumberbatch and Johnny Lee Miller are starring in it, but they each swap roles. So there are 2 recordings where one is the monster and one is Frankenstein, and then one is Frankenstein and one is the monster. It's really good. I highly. It's directed by Danny Boyle
of Slumdog Millionaire and
Trainspotting and but highly recommend it. It's really excellent.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, there we go. We've got some highbrow theatre for you guys to sink your teeth into. Frankly, what else are you doing right now? You're not doing anything. I mean, unless you're like I was and you were trying not to die from COVID, in which case, Godspeed. Get better and then watch the theatre, because it's important to support the arts. As I'm sure Dan will tell you, institutions like the theatre and like cathedrals and music and all forms of the performing arts are going for a really tough time at the moment, and they deserve our support.
And interestingly, if you want to have an even more fascinating conversation about that, you can go on to Classic FM, where they had 2 evenings, 2 2-hour programmes hosted by the Prince of Wales.
You were telling me this the other day, yeah.
It's really. I've been listening to the first one this morning, actually, before we recorded the podcast, and it's great. He has always been a real champion of the arts, and it should also be said, hopefully, depending on when things return to normality, there's a pretty high chance that I'll be meeting him at some point, because he is the patron of our fundraising appeal at the cathedral. Yeah, we found that out in March, I want to say. So
I've never met
heading
royalty. I've got to say, I'm quite jealous.
I'm quite excited. So
have you met royalty before? I can't. There's not many occasions when you can.
I think I think it might have been the Queen came to.
You met
my
the Queen
school.
and you're not sure.
No. She came to the school, but the thing is, I was so young. I think I would have been maybe, oh God, in year 3 or year 4. Probably year 3, actually. In fact, no, it must have been year 3. Year 2 or year 3, because I only went to year 4 in the Netherlands. And I think it was part of a Blue Peter fundraising thing where you all had to donate old mobile phones. Do you remember this?
Can't say I do. This is maybe after my time, Dan.
Right. Well, basically people were giving it, and these were all like old Nokia bricks and things. And I think our school raised like a really absurd amount of money, and we did particularly well. And then as a result, she came for a visit.
As you do, but you're not certain if it was the Queen or just an old lady.
Yeah, I mean, at that age, that's what the Queen is to you when you're that young and impressionable.
Wow. Well, there we go.
Yes.
Dan Moore may have met loyalty. But no.
Never loyalty, Simon. You know me.
Disloyalty.
Is that the jangle of 30 pieces of silver I hear in your pocket, Judas?
I was going for Professor McGonagall, but holy shit, we went right to the top.
I went straight in. Oh yeah, it's a sign of how regular Compline has been as part of my life that I'm now just. Yeah, it just all comes back to.
I bring you myrrh. Thank you. Murder. Judas.
No. Dancing the foxtrot. Jesus. And his partner, Judas Iscariot. No.
Oh, it's happened. Our brains have cracked. We are 40-odd minutes into the podcast, Dan, and we've gone. Top lad.
It's that time again where, unlike in previous episodes where we may have omitted
non-canon. Non-canon.
It's time to go over to Patreon Corner, where we say a massive thank you to those who support us on Patreon. The funding keeps this podcast going. It's absolutely essential, and some of you kind, wonderful, lovely souls choose to support us. There are many ways of supporting us, Simon. I don't know if you knew this.
No, tell me more. Tell me more.
Tell me more. We have multiple tiers. Beautiful. You could support us by choosing either Team Cat or Team Dog for a measly $1 a month. But what you could do, even more than that, is support us with Top Cat or Top Dog level.
But what do they get in return for that, Dan?
They get, just unending love, admiration. They get read out on this. They get read out. Come on, Dan. English and Classics, honest degree. Maybe you could say that slightly.
Is that
better.
the past tense of Reddit? No, hang on.
Yeah. No, the past tense would be Reddit.
Would be Reddit. What's how read out would be? It's a different past tense. Oh, this is why
Read
English
out.
people suck at grammar.
Yes.
Because we don't know the names of
Anyway,
anything.
we're going to. I am the head of the Top Dog folk, and
You
Simon
are the top
is the head
dog.
of the-
Some could
I am
say.
the top dog, and Simon is the top cat.
Funnily enough, I had a missed call just now from our local cat shelter, so I may well be receiving an actual cat, which
Oh
is
my
very
goodness.
exciting.
It'd be more exciting if it's a dog, but anyway. I would like to say a massive thank you to those who support Top Dog level, and in doing so, make this podcast possible. So without further ado, Alistair Fortune, Alex, Ben McMurtry, Colin J. Brown, Eric Davis, Eric Bolliger, Eve Sharples, Jay Wright, Kodzo, Kyle Peary, Lexi at Front Desk, Maggie, Peter Reed, and Samantha. Lexi at Front Desk, welcome. What a
Lexi
great...
at front desk sounds like a sexy receptionist, you
Yeah.
know? Like,
Yeah.
oh, have you checked out Lexi at front desk? Whoa.
Oh, cracking set of pins.
Apparently we work in a building yard. Sorry. I, however, would like to thank the sensible people who, like me, believe that cats are the superior household pet. And so I would like to thank Choco Cat, Christopher Betterton, Carl Mansfield, the one and only Dan Hanvey, Isabella Strowski, Izzy Christie, Jack Easton, John Mannion, Kenneth Kuzmirak, Layla Medina, Nafi Iftikhar, Oliver Berghart, Oliver Craigie, Omar Miranda, Princess Andromeda. Oh my god, there are so many people who like cats. Rents Kirk, River Ward, Simon P. Yes, I do. Tom Withington, Trustworthy Ginger, and William Humphreys. And a special shout out to Oliver Craigie, who I realise that now supports us by the princely sum of $10 a month. Doesn't even need to do it. But just chooses to. Oliver.
Good Lord.
Oliver! A bit of a Top Gear reference for the people who like O'Cock posting. Thank you very much, everyone. You keep the show on the air. Yes, we were going to have a chat. Before I got ill, we were going to have a chat about some merch, Dan, so you need to get on that after the show.
Oh, yes.
Top lad.
And finally, we find ourselves in Correspondence Corner. And it's quite. We've got a bit of a backlog here, Simon. It's quite exciting.
We've been out of action for a month, so we probably won't even get through all of these.
Yeah. We've got one here that we received toward the end of March. So we may as well get onto it now, given it's nearly June. It reads... not sure what to put here. Hello, both. My daily life hasn't changed much these days, as I prefer to stay indoors and just chill, play games, and talk to people. I especially like to play Rocket League. Oh, Simon's foaming at the mouth as we speak. 2,300 hours and counting. Good Lord.
How many? Wait, 2,300 hours?
Yeah, 2,300 hours.
That is 3 months of non-stop Rocket League. Holy shit.
And games such as Stellaris and RimWorld. Anyways, that's all I have to share. Much love from... Oh, no.
There we go. There's the reason why I wanted you to read that one out.
Nieuwwerke aan del Jessel in the Netherlands. Jonathan, aged 7,131 days. Thank you, Jonathan.
Top work.
Top shelf.
Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look at an email here from Josh. Dear Dan and Simon, this is from Josh Brayshaw. I will begin by thanking you both for the incredible podcast that you've created. Did you make another podcast, Dan?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah, so there's another Dan and Simon who's clearly making something incredible, because it can't be us.
I'm in the first year of sixth form, and having to study from home has proved very difficult, but listening to the backlog of episodes is helping tremendously. Well, we're adding for something, so you can listen to something a bit more up to date. I'm currently listening to the amazing episode 57, Juris Silovs, and listening to you, Simon, saying you're sick of the Brexit news, it being first thing in the morning and last thing at night. Yes, at least that's not the case anymore. I'm interested to know what you both feel about the current news on coronavirus. I mean, I don't mind the fact that dominates the news cycle, because it's not...
Because it should be.
Yeah, it's because it should be, and it's also mostly actually based on facts and not just political hyperbole and literally just misleading the population. Obviously, there's a lot of stories about people being morons, because people are morons and don't understand the concept of social distancing and why it's important to flatten the curve and think that it's all okay now. And also, it's relevant to me.
Everyone, wash your hands.
Yeah, I washed mine not 5 minutes ago. We had a break in the podcast. I didn't
Not 5 minutes ago, but 10 days ago. I don't know. That's no good.
So yeah, it's relevant to me as well, because I got it, and so I'm interested in preventing other, seeing what the situation is with other people catching it. And it's killed a lot of people. It's killed something like 0.1% of the entire population of England and Wales at this point in this country. I mean, it's kind of extraordinary, really. We live in a time that is going to be several several PhD dissertations in the future. This is extraordinary times that we are living through, and so I don't mind the fact that it dominates the news. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting though, because Josh is saying everybody I've been talking to is more sick of it than Brexit news, despite it only having been a few months. Could not disagree more. Disagree more. Sorry if this has already been talked about. As I said, I've been behind for a while, but one good thing to come out of the pandemic is being able to catch up completely. Well, not anymore, because there's yet more content for you to consume and realise that it's not incredible. Sorry for the fat paragraph, and thank you for the amazing work, Josh. P.S. Team dog and cat. They are both amazing. I have 2 cats and a dog, and they hate each other. but make everything better.
Perfect. Well, if that isn't a metaphor for the beauty of this podcast, and indeed podcasting in general, we have an opportunity to come together right now.
Over Dan.
Over me. Come tomorrow.
Oh, he's a professional.
Yes, it's full circle. Get me on the radio. Come on. Yeah, we all get to spend time together. I haven't been able to speak to Simon for a while because of you being so ill. So
yeah, the last time we spoke would have been on stream, I think. It would have been when we played Blackwake together.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that lovely email, Josh. And I hope that your studying is going all right. And if you find solace in having us ramble in the background, then ramble we shall. We have an email here. Brilliant.
Well done.
Titled #Team Dog for the win. So obviously, I jump on this. Dear Messrs Moore and Clark, I hope this finds you both in the silliest of spirits. First off, I confess that I'm a relatively new reader. In fact, the first episode I read was the special one featuring Pixel Girl that came out the day before my final math exam. And it was so interesting that I read the whole episode instead of studying. Don't know the results yet, this damn virus thing being the reason. I love the canine-feline dichotomy, which is one of the long-standing highlights of this podcast. I've always been a staunch believer of the fact that dogs are the most loyal, and Dan is absolutely right in saying that dogs are the way forward. Thank you so much.
Absolutely not.
I'm
Filthy
sure I've
lies.
irked Simon by this point. To be honest, I recently
Damn right
realised
you
that
have.
cats aren't all that bad either, but dogs still rule. Also, my school's been sending video lectures of classes during lockdown, and these are unlisted videos on YouTube which can't be accessed without a link. The problem is that I end up getting bored after watching those for some time and instead watch Simon's videos and vlogs that pop up on my recommended vids. So essentially, that means that in reality, I'm watching a 20-minute video of Dan and Simon having makeup applied when I was supposed to be watching 2 lectures on chemical kinetics.
That's a throwback. That's 3 years ago we did that.
Yeah, it must be.
It was a while ago. You look so good. I think I looked at the pictures of that not long ago, and I was like, damn, Dan makes a good girl.
Damn, Daniel.
Back
More
at it again with the white foundation.
More stories, including one about a cat next time. Cheers, Aditi. Thank you, Aditi.
Oh, thank you very much, Aditi. I disagree with you fundamentally, but you seem all right.
You can stay.
We have another message here from Jack Easton. Dear Simon and Dan, long-time reader, first-time writer here. Welcome. Just wanted to send a note of gratitude for the numerous days of premium non-content. Thank you. That's the official subtitle of this podcast, premium non-content, that have provided so much entertainment over the years. I finally took the leap today to support my favourite podcast with a monetary contribution that will hopefully support many more years of exploring Wikipedia rabbit holes. Thank you very much, Jack. That is incredibly generous. All in all, I hope you're both doing well in this unprecedented time where there has been an unprecedented use of the word unprecedented.
I so agree. I hate that word now. I hate it with a fiery passion.
I think at this point they are precedented. I mean, tomorrow is not unprecedented because it's going to be the same as yesterday.
Yeah,
I've started, instead of having that being the first line of the email, I've made my thing that if I email somebody new, I'll be like wishing you clean hands as my sign off, which people have emailed back just to say they appreciate. Which is, I don't know, you got it's the small things.
What happens when you're emailing your German friend Hans, wishing you clean Hans?
Oh god!
Oh god!
And when I email my French friends, I'm like wishing you clean mains and alts.
Yes, yeah. Lovely.
Kindest regards, the man of many names, Jack Easton, aka Red Pufferfish, aka Cucamelons. So a repeat offender on my Twitch streams, a long-time supporter of my Twitch. So thank you very much, Jack. Age 7,417 days, 21 hours and 48 minutes. We like the precision.
And hopefully, and counting.
Yes, I'm counting. Not a stopped clock, but we stand precision.
And finally, we have an email here titled Crooked Correspondence, or Crooked.
Crooked, as most people would say.
Yeah, crooked. Crooked. Over crooked. Right. It reads... Hello, fellows. I hope this right in
You're right. Are you okay?
No, I think I'm having a slight
Bondulance.
brain melt. Yeah, call the bondulance. I'm having a stronk. Hello, fellows. I hope this write-in finds you both well. Unfortunately...
You're still saying it weird. I hope this write-in finds you both well.
Oh, write-in. Well, I mean, should that not be hyphenated? I think it should. It's a compound adjective. Come on, everyone. Hello, fellas. I hope this write-in... Come on, mummy! I hope this write-in finds you both well. Unfortunately, I hope you... God, I just butchered that, didn't I? The lack of a hyphen just basically caused my brain to die.
You're doing what Murray actually does at like the Wimbledon finals. As soon as he hears the first, go on, Murray, like suddenly just collapses.
I hope this write-in finds you both well. Unfortunately, there will be no tales of thievery from me today. The cacti are doing well these days.
It's the cacti crook!
Oh my goodness. And I have been gifted quite a few over recent months. I just wanted to express how much these recent bi-weekly episodes have brightened up my quarantine, especially a few episodes ago when Dan mentioned Wolfpack. Yes. Their music has been the soundtrack to many of my fondest memories with the people I love. May I suggest you also check out the Fearless Flyers as well as Woo Park. Please do let me know what you think. I'm excited to hear about the potential resurrection of Wikicast merch, but in the meantime, I'll continue to reread old casts, tend my tiny garden, and practice my bagpipes. Stay safe. Fine, sirs. The Cacti Crook.
It's always good to hear from the cacti crook.
Always a pleasure.
By the way, if people do want to send us sins that need absolving, we do offer a very reasonable absolution service in the Church of County Pedantry in Dubai. Where was County Pedantry canonically? I can't actually remember.
I don't know. I thought it was Ireland, but if you want it to be Dubai, it can be.
No, because we did that episode about like a race. It was like a Grand Prix that took place in Dubai, I think, and we decided that County Pedantry was like in the Irish part of Dubai, or something
that's right.
like that.
Good knowledge.
God, the lore of this podcast is all over the place.
Extensive.
It's nearing Warhammer 40,000 levels of just a tangled spaghetti mess. But that is, I think, a show. So what did we learn today, Dan?
Today, Simon, we learnt about Come Tomorrow, the album. The ninth
by the Dave
studio
Matthews
album
Band.
by
Yes.
the Dave Matthews Band.
Who, as it turns out, are a really big deal, and neither of us really know why, or could name any of their songs.
Yeah. We also spoke about how you'd been slightly under the weather with coronavirus.
Yes, indeed. And you've been under the weather with World of Warcraft.
I have, under the weathered skies of Azeroth. God.
Oi, f*** off! F*** off! Sorry, there was a squirrel in my garden attempting to access my bird feeder. As you were. Sorry.
Golly.
I'm turning into a middle-aged man.
I've never heard you so cross.
Oh, well, if you saw me with the doves. For those of you who haven't seen the new vlog that I put out, I had a slight incident where my bedroom was invaded by a pair of doves. I feel like Mary Poppins at this point. I'm just a friend to all the animals. I'm just they're friends with me, and I'm trying to get them to f*** off. I
remember seeing that and thinking, is this some kind of like veiled allegory, or what's the word I'm thinking of for
a metaphor?
No, it's like specifically when it's like a religious story that's got like a...
Oh, are you saying my life is like a still life painting? I'm like a Dutch Renaissance painting where it's like, yes, the doves represent love, and the repeated chants of "f off, will you" represent man's fragility in the face of death. God, that squirrel is not happy.
Biblical story with deep meaning.
I'm in a staring match with a squirrel. He's looking at me.
What is a Bible story called?
Nope.
Bible story.
Excuse me.
Oh, I can't believe I said the word yesterday.
Well, off you go.
It's
yes, you. Go on. You're not a bird. Get off the bird feeder. Right. God, you can't get the rodents these days.
A parable.
Oh!
A parable was the word. There we go.
We got
You're
there in
living
the end.
in a parable.
God, it's a Thriller Millet on the Wikicast, everyone.
I had a fantastic choral piece of the week, Marta Ora Filium by Arnold Bax. It's superb. I really hope you like it.
Yeah, looking forward to listening.
We've been given some advice too. I'm absolutely going to be listening to Fearless Flyers and Woo Park. I'm excited about that.
My favourite South Korean football player.
Woo Park. And
all round some pretty cracking correspondence. There is more. If you sent us an email, we realised that there are more that we need to read out, but we didn't want to swamp this episode. So if it hasn't been read out this week, we'll get to it next episode. Promise.
Oh, do you know what I didn't do?
So many things.
I was going to tell you about my little project.
Oh yes, what is it? Sorry, we're rewinding, everyone. We're going back to the first section of the podcast.
You know, you're putting together this thing for the University of Exeter Chapel Choir.
I do. Yes.
Well, I've been putting together my own thing for the Choral Scholars. We've done a distanced recording of If You Love Me. And I put together a little video with all of our faces on the screen and a nice background, and edited all the music up. And it was a cool thing because I haven't really done something like that before. And it was immensely tedious, but it is, isn't it? It really is. I felt bad for you. I was talking to Michael about it, and I said, God, I feel bad for Simon because you must have so many faces to do. I only had 5.
I haven't done the video yet. I'm doing the audio and getting all that production sorted, and then I'm going to do the video synced with it.
So that's what I did. I edited all. I took the videos, extracted the audios, put that into GarageBand, and then put together like something that sounds good, and then put the video together. But it's so frustrating because the way that I had to do it was like add a video within the frame, line it up into like one corner, and then export that as an MP4, then open that MP4 again and add another image on top of it, because iMovie doesn't allow for like super high end, adding multiple videos within frames at one specific time. Oh,
really? Oh,
so it was really tedious because I might get 3 or 4 people in and suddenly realise the second person is slightly out of sync and have to start the whole thing again.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But anyway, Sunday, Pentecost, the bishop is preaching, and there is going to be a video from the Choral Scholars of If You Love Me, and that's my little thing. So I'm quite excited.
And also we had Ascension Day recently.
We did.
The day that Jesus started working from home.
Yes.
Right, okay. We're now back in we're doing a fast forward to the end of the podcast. God, I'm so glad that we got that in. This is a
Nailed
show.
it.
Down. This is where we take an episode off, and it all goes to. There's so much swearing. I'm giving myself so much work to do. Oh, blimey. That's all, thankfully, for this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to us on your podcasting service of choice. Join the Discord, and if you'd like to see our faces, check out our YouTube channel, Spongy and Electric.
Dave Matthews Band supporters, lockdown stories, and other thoughts on the show can be sent to us at spongyelectric@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Join us again for another tumble down the wiki rabbit hole, and we'll see you next time. Good point.
So I'm all right. Okay, fine. I just need to know what my name is. Hang on. Where's my little badge?
Wait, it's upside down. Wait.
Nad. What?
It's in Cyrillic. Okay. Are you ready to go then?
Yeah, I will be. There's something sending.
Got a problem here.
Yeah, my
Pull up!
laptop fans are
Eject!
Freak out. Calm down. It's all right. It's already just piping hot, and it's literally, I've just turned it on like 15 minutes ago.
I mean, in my room,
this poor laptop.
I'm at the point now where I'm seriously going to buy a thermal sensor for a Raspberry Pi so that I can track how warm it gets in my office, because I swear it's about 40 degrees a lot of the time. It's ridiculous.
Goddy. Not ideal. I just need to replace this thing because it's just, I mean, it served me so well, but it's a 2013 model MacBook Pro, and it just doesn't like what I'm trying to do to it at the moment, especially when I try and play WoW, and it's just kind of like, I basically turn it on, it does 5 minutes, and then just goes for like hours, and I'm like, okay, well, brilliant, that's really great. So
that's great.
Just screaming at me, and I'm being like,
it's like the sun in Rick and Morty where they go to that planet.
I guess we can live with this.